I would like to welcome you to Calanchi's Cookie Castle, where we're not just about cookies anymore. And I'm here today because I have some disappointing news, but my bookkeeper just left. And I hear that some of the stuff I have questions about is some of the stuff that you guys have been doing, so I'm here to ask for some help. So my first question to you is, I make cookies and cakes, right? And I'm a business owner. My goal is to make money. It's how I survive, okay? The only thing that I found that my bookkeeper left behind was a piece of paper that had these two equations on them. And I know, because I run a business, that I have expenses and I have income. Can somebody share with me, like, what are expenses in running a business? So we got a lot of them: buying stuff, ingredients, electricity, okay? Bills, paying for my equipment, good, right? A loan, then I got interest, which is more than the loan. And what's income? It's the money I make. Is income my profit?
No.
But it's the money I make. Why not?
Because the income is the amount of money you make, but also some of that has to go to the amount of money you make.
Okay, so when will I make a profit?
You have more income than you do expenses.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for that. I've heard you've done this before, and in this case, this is about the number of cakes that I've made and sold in the past month. So can somebody help me define the parts of this equation? What does the E represent? Expenses, which you guys just did a great job explaining what they are. And what does the N represent? What's the rate? Is the N the rate? Okay, and can you give me what rate it represents, like in my situation? It's an expense.
About how much equipment costs?
Okay. Do I pay for my equipment every month? I do. My equipment is part of a setup. Food? Okay, let's come back to it. What do we think the N represents?
Unit.
Okay, what unit? What information is the N representing? Remember, these are the two equations for this past month in terms of the number of cakes that I've sold. Number of what? Cakes. And what is the plus 200? Okay, what do we call that? Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm a baker. What's the y-intercept? What does that mean? Startup fees. Okay, that makes sense to me. Startup fees. My rent, all this stuff I got to deal with every month, maybe spread out over some months. So now that we know this, now my expenses is equal to a certain number of cakes, plus I got all these startup fees. Now can you help me understand what the $6.50 might be? The cost of the cakes. Okay, what represents how many cakes I sell, do you think? So if we go with Liam that this is the cost of a cake, what represents how many cakes I sell? The N, right? My expenses, right? It's not the cakes I sell, it's the cakes I actually make. Okay, now you got it. All right, I is income. And what's our N when it's the money coming in? And what's the 1050? Yes. Suppose I make and sell 10 cakes. Hey, I'm not used to this. Are we in a good spot? Okay, great. Can somebody tell me how I would figure out what my expenses are if I made 10 cakes? Okay, times 10? Why don't we multiply it by 10 also? Only happens once. Thank goodness, it's expense. All right, what's 10 times $6.50? So what are my total expenses? Okay, what about my income? Did I make money that month?
No. Guys, come on.
No, you lost.
How are you getting that?
You have 40. You lost.
This is my income. This is my expense. So we're agreeing I lost, right? I have a loss. How much? $160. Okay. if someone were to just miss this and walk in right now, what advice would you give to tell them how we know that I lost money? What's a simple statement we could tell them that is the reason we lost? Good. What's it called if it's the other way around? What's it called if I actually, this is what I want, my income is more than my expenses? Good. So here's your challenge. This is where I need your help. I know that if I make and sell 10 cakes, I'm at a loss. I'm trying to find when, if ever, will my income and my expenses be the exact same? Because I know that if I make and sell one more cake than that point, I'm going to make a profit. If I sell anything under that point, I'm going to be at a loss. This is my business. It's my livelihood. I want to make money. So I need your help in finding what in the business world we call the break-even point. The point where my expenses are going to be the exact same as my income. And I'm going to challenge you to do this using either a table, a graph, or an equation to answer that question. You need a calculator, you need a marker, and you need an eraser. Head to the boards. So can I ask you, how come you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you jumped? I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm literally inquiring. Anyone else can answer. It doesn't have to be TJ. So I'm going to let you figure some things out, and then I'll come back and ask you that. But I have a question. Is there another point that you've missed that's a pretty important point for us to know? Might be towards the top of the chart.
Zero.
Why is 0 important?
Because that's the start of it.
Okay. Is there a point where the money I spent is exactly the same as my money?
No. Income.
And yours is 200.
Oh yeah, because people still say.
So this is 206.50. Right?
Wait, it's right here.
It's 206.50.
So okay, so this is 10.
Oh wait, no.
So this will be 65. This will be 14. It's 255. This is 32. 245.
It's 245. Right? Because 5 times 6 is...
Because
5 times 6 is 30, and then half of 30 is 15. We're trying
this was 65. But then
260.
we're worrying about 10.
We're doing this one, so it's 260 because 10 times... So this is n. And
It would be
n
65.
by 650, which would be 65 plus 200. So it's 260. Oh.
So that means
I said 260. That one. That's for...
What information is going to go in there?
the expenses and income costs.
And what else?
We're gonna see what that means.
Okay.
Calanchi.
Yes.
So I want to pay for a little bit. What are we trying to figure out?
You're trying to figure out, is there a point where the money I spend, my expenses, is exactly the same as my money coming in, my income? And your group decided to make a table to see if they could find that.
Are we supposed to make a table or graph?
You decide.
$100.05.
Does that seem right?
This?
Yeah.
No.
Can you show them the calculator?
Wait, I think it's 100 baht.
Yeah.
Here though, right?
It's $100.02.
It's 105.
So I have a question. You got this by doing something to this. What'd you do?
Multiplied it by 2.
Okay. Are we always allowed to do that?
No.
What do we call this type of relationship that starts here and has a consistent rate?
Proportional.
Yes. When it's proportional, we're allowed to do that quick trick. Not always, so be careful.
Proportional, you have to go write different numbers.
Yes.
So when it's proportional, everyone just goes times 2.
Yeah, you can scale it up when it is proportional, but when it's not, you have to sort of use the full equation. All right, keep going. You may want to start to do this a little bit and pay attention to your number. I think you left something out here and it makes math teachers cry. I wouldn't know because I'm a baker, but I'm pretty sure it makes math teachers cry. Okay, I'll let her know not to cry anymore. My expenses, remember Mr. Tax Guy? If I don't make any cakes, are my expenses still 0?
Oh, no.
What are they?
200.
Okay. So here, how much more am I spending than I'm earning?
200.
$200. Here, this is what number?
225.
And this is 42. Let's call it about 50. How much more am I spending than I have coming in? So
Like 180.
okay. So here it was 200, here it's 180.
Yeah.
It's still a lot, right? What might you want to do as you move forward to help?
So skip like for 5, 10, and then 15, 20, and then 30.
Okay, yeah. So maybe consider to continue to do that, right? Remember, we always have to pay attention to the numbers in the table. Otherwise, we could be building one for a while, okay? So don't forget to compare them as you go. Okay, so tell me what this means.
6.5 times 50 plus the 200 would be your expenses, which is
Okay.
525. Then for income, it would be 50 times 10.5, which is the income. So they met.
Okay, so you tell me how you got it. So they met, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, you came to me and said we're done.
It means
Like-
they would be like, you'd be spending the same amount you'd be earning.
Okay, so I'm gonna write this down. Spending the same, sorry for amount I'm earning. Okay? What's another way to talk about spending that we discussed today? What's another word we use for spending? Expenses. Good, Philip. And in math, what means the same amount? And what did we use to talk about the money I'm earning? Income. Oh boy, we have an equation here. Do you have anywhere on your board another way to express the same thing or another something that's equal to expenses? When you look down here, do you have another way, another expression that is the same as the word expenses? Not yet, hang on for 1 sec. Do you have anything else that represents the same exact thing as expenses? How'd you fill all these in? Look how quickly you got there. Okay, tell me more.
So we wanted to start at 20 instead of 0.
Okay,
So we multiplied the costs by 20 and we added the 200.
okay, why? Like, where did that, how'd you know to do that? The cost times 20 plus 200.
Because that's how many cakes we would be making.
Okay, right, but what was the cost? In my expenses, what does it cost me to make a cake?
Like,
6.5.
$6.50, right? What if I made 1,000 cakes? What would you do to figure out my expenses?
times 1,000 plus 200.
Okay, so you're always going to do that times the cake plus 200. If I do that, is that the same thing as my expenses? Okay, what's the same thing as my income?
10.5 times the number of cakes we
Your turn. Go ahead.
And 5 and
Okay. Are you guys familiar with equations? Have you guys been doing that in your math class at all?
yeah.
Do you think you could solve this equation for n?
Yeah.
That's such a good answer. Okay, here's some space. Go for it.
Oh, that's for the bottom one. Yeah, I was doing for the top one it's 5.
Is that for 50?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. How'd you get that?
Because we did 420 plus. Wait, I might get it wrong. So that means this will be for 45.
So, tell me what you did again.
To get for 45 cakes, I did 420 plus 52.5.
Okay.
52.50 to then get 472.
Okay, so you use this plus this.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it about this relationship where you can scale things up and do that? Proportional, right? Can you do it in this one? The what? You keep saying that word.
Straight up. Yeah.
Right, right? So we can't do that here because of this. I love it. Good. Okay, so now fix this. About how much did you say they were apart?
About 190.
190. Let's just look at 5. We're at 232 and 52. About how much now?
About 270.
270 or 170?
Sorry, 170.
170. So it's less, right?
Yeah.
It's getting closer. Is it getting closer like at a good pace or is it taking some time?
It's taking some time.
So what might you want to do in here to start?
Expand it.
Tell me more. Like, what do you mean expand?
Make it larger. Make the graph larger.
Okay. Okay. How come it's going up so slowly?
Because basically, apprentices basically get a head start.
They do get a head start, right? So they get a head start. So we have some catching up to do, right? Do you think I got to make a lot of cakes to catch up?
Probably.
Yes. You're slowly going there, right? Could you do something in your table to help you see maybe a more dramatic change sooner?
Me?
Or you?
Maybe having higher numbers.
Okay, so can I erase?
Actually, I'm gonna erase the.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Okay. Now, have you seen something like this before? Okay, so where do you think that something went awry? So reading your graph in pink, one cake is going to cost me like, let's just call it $10. Okay? One cake costs me about $10. 2 cakes is how much?
21.
21. So 2 cakes you have as $210. Right? Cost is expenses, right? So this one, right?
Say that it's 215.
So this is what I think happened. What I think happened is you graphed this one in pink, and then for the next one, you graphed the correct one in pink next. So can you show me where, sorry, Harper, where this point would be on your graph? One cake costing me $206.50. Okay, how much do 0 cakes cost?
0.
Do they cost me 0? How much do they cost?
200.
So can you show me where 0 cakes being $200 would be on our graph? Okay, can you put a dot there?
In pink or black?
This is your cost, right? I'm going by your key.
Because Lily, think about it this way. You sell no cakes. So you sell no cakes and you just start with this. Basically the number is 0. So that is 0. So essentially you just start with the y-intercept, aka the straight cost.
Okay, good. So now, does that seem to fit in more with the rest of it?
Yeah.
Okay, can I erase? So we agree 0 is not $0. It doesn't cost me. Because remember, I got to pay rent, I got to pay tax, I got to pay for my work, I got to pay all that stuff. And now it seems to fit in more nicely, right?
I don't know. It's just
How come we jumped? Like 1, then 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, then we went up tens.
because I wasn't seeing like
Go with it. You weren't seeing what?
I wasn't seeing any difference. Like that one was still like over that.
Okay.
So I decided to jump down.
Okay. Good. Remember, part of this is we got to always pay attention in our tables, right? Especially when we're trying to answer a specific question like, are they ever going to be the same? And I love that you recognize, oh my God, these are so far apart, it's going to take me forever, right? Perfect. So at what point do we break even? 50 cakes means what's going to happen in my bank account?
You're gonna get more money.
Am I going to get more money when I break even?
Oh no, you're not gonna make any.
I'm not going to make any money,
You're
right?
gonna lose or you're not.
What happens if I make and sell a 51st cake?
Then you're gonna make money.
Okay, so I got a lot of work to do this month. Okay, so question, the break even means what is true? What two things are the same?
The expense and the income.
I want you to see if there's another way somewhere on your board that you have something that's equal to the word or concept of expenses, and another part on your board that's equal to the word income, and see if you can use equations instead of a table to solve this. Don't erase your table. Awesome. See if you can use equations to answer that. What helps us know what to do? What should we draw on our equation? I'm going to coach you a little, working up a sweat here. Railroad tracks, right? What does this remind you of that I heard you talk about in class? Oh. So what can you do to make it simpler?
Wait, minus 200 for each side?
Okay, do I have coins on each side?
Oh, wait, no. End, on the end.
Okay. Do it. I'll be back.
What's the one mean?
It's my first board I might go to. But I start using A's and B's and C's because I lose count and forget what I number. I was hoping to have a graph, but I don't think their graph is going out far enough. But oh my gosh,
Give us your marker.
which was faster? We could use algebra.
No,
Yahoo! Okay, if you could meet me up here, please. Looking at this one, who can tell me what our break-even point was? Thank you, Jay, but Jay and Eli, you can't because this is yours. 50. What does that mean, 50? Cakes sold. And what's going to happen when I sell 50 cakes?
It mixes like the expenses and the income. It's the same.
It's the same. Do I make money?
No.
No. My group that was graphing, what do you think is going to start to happen to your graph at about 50? Or anyone, if you envision a graph, what should start to happen? Eli?
2 lines will cross.
The 2 lines will cross, right? That's what it means to break even. Okay, gentlemen, over here, please. Jay, this group went to 40 and then they added on. Jay, can you share how you figured out the price for 45?
So the price for me to figure out the price for 45, since we already had 40 cakes, like the price for 40 cakes, I decided to add the price for 40 cakes with the price for 5 cakes to then get the price for 45 cakes, which was $472.05.
Okay, good. And TJ and Brielle and TJ, we're doing the same thing over here. Why are they allowed to take this price and add the price of 5 to get the price of 45? What type of relationship do we call the income one? What? Say it with confidence. Proportional, right? It starts at 0. We don't have any straight up costs. Are we allowed to use that same trick for the one for my expenses where I have straight up costs? No, we got to use the whole multiply and then add the 200. I love it. All right, I'm going to draw your attention to this board. You guys just told me income and expenses are the same when I break even, right? So this group, with some prompting, we talked about how another way to represent expenses is, Isla, thank you, by saying the $6.50 times n plus 200. Okay, another way to talk about income, because income was the same or equal to 1050N, was to replace that here. You guys just told me break even is when expenses equals income. This group then solved the equation. We've got ends on both sides, like pouches. They removed the pouches. How much more am I charging customers than it's costing me to make one cake? How much more do I get than what it costs me to make a cake? $4. So I'm getting $4 every cake, but I need to sell enough to cover that $200. Well, how many fours are in 200? 50. Look how fast they did this. If you ever wonder where am I going to use algebra again, look at all this visual stuff, but also look how you have like a check and balance system. You can go back and make sense of it. Okay, this is awesome. So we use tables. We had a group starting to use a graph. We used equations. It can all be used to solve a real life problem.